Thank you.
Sir Jury?
Hello, Doc.
Okay.
Okay.
Share screen lang, Sir Jury, if you are ready.
Okay, Doc.
Thank you.
Kitaon lang akong screen, Doc.
Okay na, sir. Visible. I-slideshow mo lang, Guro.
Alright, Doc.
Bigger siya. Save the best for last ni sir, ha?
Alright, kitaon lang akong nga screen, Doc. And classmates.
Yes, sir.
Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Sir Jory, Teacher 1 of Kaliling Elementary School, and today I will be sharing to you how to overcome the barriers to effective communication. We have heard a while ago the barriers of effective communication, and this time we will go and learn how to overcome those and what are the tips that we can do as much as possible in communication so that we can build better relationship and limits communication gaps. Before anything else, we have to learn what is a communication. Communication itself is defined as transferring information to produce greater understanding. Effective communication is about more than just exchanging information. It's about understanding the emotion and intentions behind the information. So all of us are trying to communicate so that we can be understood by others. We are trying our best to clearly share our ideas, our opinions, even our feelings, para magkaintindihanay kita, no, sa aton palibot and to those people that we are conversing or talking with. Problems with communication can have a huge impact in our life. Therefore, overcoming barriers to effective communication is really highly important. So the first one is to understand the kind of barrier and how or why this barrier exists. So the first thing that you have to consider in solving or overcoming the barriers to effective communication is to understand first the kind of barrier. We have heard a while ago the barriers, and then we have to look into that kind of barriers that distracts our focus, that takes away our focus in our topic or the message that we're conveying to our listeners. So right after identifying those barriers, we have to try our best to manage that barrier before it ruin the communication process. Just like for example, no, atong physical barriers, for example, kung layo ay ka mo sa imong nga kaistorya, so why don't you try your best to go close with that person you wanted to talk with, no? You have to try your best to manage that barriers. Attitudinal barriers, maybe you have to work it out in yourself. Dapat willing ka mag-accept sa mga ideas sa iban nga tao. You have to understood nga tanan-tanan may unique nga ideas, so you have to be open-minded. And then language barriers, so try your best. For example, kung ang imo ka istorya English speaker kag native English speaker, try your best to learn that language and master it so that you can have a better communication. And then noise barriers, for example, if you have understand or identify that in your area where you are located have a lot of noise or damo distraction, why don't you go a place nga makakita ka sang linong kag maka-communicate ka padayon, no, sa imo gusto istoryahon, no? And then digital connectivity barriers, which is really common to us, especially teachers doing online class, no? If you think and if you know that your place doesn't have better internet connection, why don't you go to a place nga may ara ya internet connection? Ang iban mabalibad na lang wala connection. So paano nga hindi mo na maidiyahan, no? So just understand that barriers, and after identifying that kind of barrier, do something on how to overcome them or manage it, no? Before nga maguba niya ang communication process. So The second one, make your ideas clear before communicating. All right, kung for example, you have identified already the barriers, and if you have managed it correctly, properly, and then if you're ready to communicate with someone or to the people you wanted to speak with, and then in this part, you have to make sure that your ideas you wanted to express is really clear, no? Give a thought on what you're going to say first. Hindi ka magpalagpat, no? It means you know what you're going to say first and how you were going to end the conversation, because if you don't know what you're going to do in the whole communication process, base madugayan ka mo or base hindi matapos inyo istoryahanay or base hindi ka mo mag-inintindihanay, no? You need to have a clear ideas about what you are about to speak, know the motive behind the subject, and begin with a clear goal of communication and precise thinking. If that is all about the topic or the message, no, dapat you have to be knowledgeable for that kind of topic or message, no, so that you can clearly share that one to others. Because if you don't have clear ideas of that kind of topic or message, definitely you will not going to say or deliver it clearly to your receiver, right?
Hello, sir. Hello, Sir Joey. I think your slide is not moving.
Oh no!
Oh my God! Wow!
Oo, slideshow, anay, sir.
Oh
Then,
no!
i-try, i-check what. Wala siya nag-move.
Oh no!
All right. Arya, Dok, kitaon na sa inyo?
I-slideshow, sir. Kaya doon kagamay.
Agamay sa
Nan. Okay na, sir. Better.
All right. So in this part, no, liwaton ko kadali, you have to make sure your ideas are clear before communicating. No, dapat clear ang imo ideas pag intindi sa sinang a topic that you wanted to discuss, and you need to make sure that you are really knowledgeable about that kind of topic, so that you can clearly share that one to your receiver or to your listener or sa audience, no? And then doon nagalag akon nga screen, no? So, ari. And then think of it from start to end and analyze all possible options when it is a new idea you wanted to share. And when you have to explain it, be sure that all steps and linkages are fully understood by you and why they exist. And right after sharing that idea to your listener, you have to expect questions from your listener or audience and be prepared to answer them so that you can still have a continuous flow of discussion. May ara gina siya mga follow-up questions or maybe may mga question nga kinanglan i-clarify sa imong mga audience. So you have to prepare for that. That is why in this little circle at the bottom right corner here says you need to be knowledgeable of the topic or the message you're going to say. Na para ma-overcome ta ang mga barriers that will come up along the way, no? And then the third steps, no, or tips, ensure the good timing in communication. So dapat may good timing good, no, when sharing our ideas. Wait for a good timing before sharing it. Time is really an important factor in communication, no? When a group of people initiates communication, you have to pay attention and communicate in due time, no? If someone is still talking, you have to wait for your turn, no? Dapat mahulat ka, and then right after they finish, and if you think that they already done with sharing about their ideas, and then maybe you can ask permission to speak, no? Or to share your insight about what you have heard, no? It says right here, say the right thing at the proper time, no? And then, when you speak to someone, try to see the time and the mood of the person. Now, hindi lang gali ang time, but also the mood of the person that you're talking with. For example, when your listener is in a sad situation, don't try to tell an irrelevant joke, no? Make sure nga hindi mo na siya pag amhon sinap or i-joke misan nang, for example, kakasubo siya, no? Kay maguba lang gid ang inyong pag-istoryahanay or ang inyong moment, no? Or if the listener is in particular happy mood, do not say anything that will trigger sadness or bad mood. So you have to make sure you have to say a word in a right time and then in a right mood man, no? So the fourth one is use a language your listener can understand, no? Dapat, you have to make sure that your listener can understand that language. Make sure you have to know the background of that person that you're talking with, no? For example, ang imo da ka istorya do laban na da Cebuano haw. So, matry ka man masinubuano, no? Or matagalog ka na lang para do maintindihan kanila tanan. Or for example, kung ang imo da ang mga listeners, mga Americans, you have to try your best, no? Nga maintindihan ka Manila sa ila man nga lingwahe. Because that is the most important thing, no? Because language is really a most important thing we have to consider in communication, and not only the words that we're going to use in communication, but also the accent, no? Kaysa sa call center kami, sa bag-o pa kami dito, ga-English kami tanan, pero our accent is really different from them. So, hindi magyapon kami maintindihan sa mga Americans. Kay amon accent baw, Filipino accent gyapon. Yung iban gani, Ilonggo accent gyapon. So, you have to consider that also in communicating with someone, no? So, ensure that your listener can clearly understand your language, and then make sure the grammar, vocabulary as easy as possible. So, magamit ka sa mga hapos lang ang mga words so that mas-intindihan ka sa mga audience mo or imo mga listener, no? Hindi ka magamit sang too much technical words, no? You can always show your language skills in reporting or thesis writing, but when you are delivering a meaningful message or conversing formally or informally, avoid any complex language or using different accent man, no? May ara gani mga Americans pero wala gansindihanay. Ay ang iban nga accent ya, amo ni saya nga accent, British accent gali to ya iya ginagamit do hindi maayo mag-intindihanay. Ang isa naman daw kaiya sa Irish accent, no? Do hindi sila maayo man mag-intindihanay. So dapat sabay ka man, no, sa iyang speed, sa iyang tone, no? Because there are times gani pareho na kamo language nga ginagamit galing kadasig sa iya maghambal do hindi makamo mag-intindihanay. So, for example, if you're talking to an elderly person, you have to try your best to speak slow, no? Dapat ma-speak slow, no? Kung ano ang iyang rate of speed in speaking, dapat sabayan mo man siya, no? Para hindi ka mo ma-distract, mag-intindihanay ka mo, no? Use verbal and written messages that are easy to understand and jargon-free to engage your audience in the conversation. So, dapat ang imo ko ng mga messages, no, are jargon-free, no, hindi magamit sa mga words nga daw hindi ka formal, no? And then, when you communicate to someone, dapat i-consider mo gid, no, ang speed of your, the rate of speed of your speaking, no? And then the language that you're using. And then you have to make sure that you use a simple language as much as possible. And then the fifth one, siyam ni siya mga kaguro mo, no? Make your message at the point and short. Now, don't make your message too lengthy. Now, when you speak or writing emails or chatting, make your message to the point, no? Dapat direct to the point, no? Speak or write straightforward to your point because we don't deserve to take much time from our listener, no? Or for our audience. Kay each of them also have time to do their job. No? May kasakauan man na sila sa ila padimalay. So as much as possible, if we have to share something to them, we have to say it straightforward or direct to the point dayon, no? Depending on the situation, especially sa communication, mas nami straightforward ka maghambal, hindi nga palibot-libot pa kay para i-impress mo gid abi ang imo nga listener kay tungod tanda ka mag-communicate, pero mas nami gid nga straightforward ka, no, maghambal sang imo idea so that your listener can prepare for that idea, no, nga imo gina share sa ila. Then avoid using unnecessary words and ideas not connected to the topic of your message. No? We have to try our best nga dapat gisinanto gina ang mga ideas nga gina-share nimo, no? It will be difficult for the receiver to understand the message if the sender uses too many technical terms. For example, kung business ang inyo dira ginaistoryahan, I believe there are business words nga ginagamit that are commonly being used by the customer support be representative, no? And then kung technical terms ara ka naman sa technical department, syempre imo mga words dira technical naman ka technical words. Pero kung tan-awon mo ana yung imong audience, no? For example, audience mo puro mga mangunguma, hindi ka magamit sa mga dalom naman nga words nga daw iyayas ang mga iban nga mga tao, for example sa mga professional nga mga tao, no? Kay ang ilaya maintindihan amo lang ginaabi. So you have to make sure that the words that you're using are suitable to the kind of people, to the group of people that you are talking with, no? Information overload. So dapat, no, siling naton as much as possible straightforward, hindi magpaligoy-ligoy pa, no? Hindi magpadloy-glawig because there's such thing that we call information overload, wherein a person speaks for an extended period of time. So the effectiveness of communication suffers. As the result, the receiver will become exhausted and will be unable to keep track of everything that is conveyed. So that is the problem when you are speaking too lengthy, no? And then if hindi ka katabo lang na siya if you are speaking wala ka bala sang na outline, no? Gakatabuin na ang paghambal sang malawig kag do kadugay do hindi mo control ang imo pag-share sang idea sa imo isikatawo. It's because wala ka sang ginasundan nga outline, no? So dapat may ara kagali sina nga mga butang so that you can stay with the topic kag hindi na maglawig inyo ginaistoryahan. And then number 6, check if other person has understood your message. So from time to time, verify if they clearly understood the message. This is the most important one. Kay base ba lang imo audience, wala gali ka pamati or base hindi ka bati sa imo kay kahina sang imo binga panghambal, or you have to try your best to ask them, to verify them if they can hear you, if they understood you correctly. So when you communicate to someone else, ensure that they understood the message properly. No, mangkot ka sa ila so that you can figure out if they absorb the message, no? Giving and requesting feedbacks proves that you are serious about what the other person says and their views on the subject. So we have to ensuring the understanding of the message minimize communication gaps. And then the motive of feedback is to determine whether the recipient has grasped the significance of the received information. So that is why from time to time, we don't have, hindi ta dapat pagkalipatan, no? Nga magpamangkot sa aton nga mga listeners, sa aton mga audience, kung kaintindi sila. And then if they have question, no? The sender or speaker should adopt an appropriate feedbacking method in case of written communication or other kinds of communication. So dapat tanda ta dira, no, mag-follow up sa aton mga audience, no? And number 7, take care of the body language, tone, and content of the message. So communicate with the correct tone and body language because your expressions, gestures, postures, and voice tones are powerful tools. Whenever you are speaking, make sure you are communicating with correct body language, no? Because proper tone and body language avoids misinterpretation. So it's very important, no? Kung gahambal ka sang about be naga-congratulate ka bi sa imong friend, no? Kay nagdaog siya bi sa isa ka event, so dapat makita gid ang body language sa imo, and then ang tono nga excitement, happy and proud, makita na dapat sa imo nga language, no? Sa imo kaugalingon kung naga-congratulate ka, for example, sa imo nga friend, no? So siling dire, you have to try your best, no? Nga mangin genuine ang imo nga pag-share sang imo nga body language and tone while you are speaking para hindi ka ma-misinterpret, no? For example, naga-congratulate ka pero ga-close mo ron imo itsura. So, hindi siya amo, no? Dapat ibagay mo ang imo nga tone, posture, kag ang imo nga expression, no? Sa imo nga gina-share nga idea or message. And then use polite tone, no? Or using polite tone is very important in communication as much as possible. Maintain it all throughout the conversation. Dapat polite ikaw, no? So, ari na, ginambal ko siya kagina. So, when you are congratulating someone, dapat you have to see that you are really genuine, no? And then when you use wrong body language and tone, the subject matter of your message can be easily misinterpreted. So, it's very important gid nga ang aton body language and tone is align na sa aton nga gina-convey nga message or sa situation. And then number 8, listen before you speak again. No? Listening to the person overcomes the barrier. We need to be an active listener always so that we can be an effective communicator or speaker. No? Because by listening, you will make the other person feel that their perception is equally important as yours. And furthermore, you will be able to give more appropriate feedback. No? So, dapat mamati ka in all the details gid sang ila ginahambal so that you can avoid misinterpretation, misconception, no, so that you can also build a strong and better communication, no, sa ila. Kag wala na sang mga interruption nga matabo kay tungod nagapamati ka gid sa ila, no, into details ka. So you have to listen and then even to yourself, no, pamatian mo man ang imo kaugalingon, no, kung ang imo bala ginahambal, no, insakto gid. And then to listen, we need to make a conscious effort, not just hear what people are saying, but to take it in, digest it, and understand it. Okay, so dapat i-feel ta, no, kung ano gid ang iya gusto, no, nga i-share sa aton. No, we have to let them see and feel that we are there to listen to them. No nga, ara gid tayo nga mamati sa ila. Not only those listening enhance your ability to understand better and make you a better communicator, it also makes the experience of speaking to you more enjoyable to other people. No, ang imo balang kaistorya will find you great, no? Ma-feel niya nga, ay kanami sa kay sir or kay ma'am kay ginaintindihan niya gid ko, no? The experience is really the most important thing, no? Nga makahatag ta sa ila, nga mapakita ta sa ila, nga maayo tayo nga listener, no? Maayo ta nga manugpamati, labi na gid kung may nag-share sa aton sang tagsa-tagsa nila ka problema, no? When you are sharing something to others or when you are listening, no? Dapat hindi ka man dali-dali ano sang emotion, no, sang inyo istoryahan nga topic kay may ara na nga abaw nag-share ang iyang friend sang about sa problema sa ila panimalay nasubuan ang iyang friend siya nag-utoy-utoy hibi kay sobra pada kuno ang iyang naagyan, which is supposed to be mamati siya kag mag-provide siya sang comfort nga mga words, no, mag-provide siya sa mga ideas and ways how to overcome that kind of problem. Baw siya pa noon niya ang namroblema kag siya pa ang gintagaan advices, no, sang iyang upod nga supposed to be amo tuga pangayo sang advice. Alright, no, dapat kung ikaw, no, isa ka speaker, isa ka communicator, you have to control your emotion gid, no, perme, no, especially if you hear something nga daw na agyan mo man bala, no, dapat ara kagyapon sa focus mo, no, kay para mas manami king flow sang inyo communication. And then lastly, do not interrupt when someone else is speaking, no? Wait until they are finished with what they are speaking. Strongly avoid interrupting someone when they are speaking. Wait till they are finished with what they are saying. When you interrupt someone, it distracts them from the things they were saying, and as a result, they might lose their flow. No? And it says right here, interrupting when someone is still speaking is another form of rudeness. Rudeness gina siya kung labi na gid kung ang pag-interrupt mo do wala man gid sa important nga reason, no? Gin-interrupt mo lang kay tungod excited ka man nga i-share ang imo nga nabalaan, excited ka nga idugang ang imo nga nabalaan, no? Which is improper gali, no? In communication process, because that will the amo na siya ang maguba man sa communication process. So we have to avoid that so that we can overcome this barrier now in effective communication. And then, if you are interrupting someone, you must have a strong reason for it. No, hindi taman manigar nga there are times na kinanglan tagid mag-interrupt, no? But you have to make sure that you have a strong reason for it, and you have to do it politely as much as possible, like this, no? Always ask permission to jump in. Pwede mo erase imo kamot, no? Dili sa aton nga sa aton online class, no, may ari na di nga pwede ka ka-raise ang imo nga hand, or diri may ari di nga icon that will also shows your polite way of interrupting or asking someone or cutting them out of the conversation or sa discussion, no? And then after doing that, you have to apologize for the interruption. No, mahambal ka, sorry gali nga nag-interrupt ko. Amo na siya, and then you have to share something. And then always use polite words when clarifying something para hindi man masakitan ng aton nga speaker, no? So we need to be sensitive, gid permi, no? In communication so that we can avoid misinterpretation, no? Para mangin smooth gyapon ang flow sang aton nga communication. So that is all about the 9 tips on overcoming barriers to effective communication. Thank you so much and have a great day sa aton tanan. Salamat gid gali sa Google. Salamat man sa pinakagwapa naton nga maestra, Dr. Boris.
Thank you, Sir Jory. Thank you sa adjective ang pinakagwapa gida. Superlative ato ha. Sige. Incomparable. Thank you. Thank you very much for all the reports. I think Sir Jory was able to discuss comprehensively this report, including paired with examples in every way that we can overcome the barriers for effective communication. So we have reached our goal and objective today to have these 4 smart people to report. It's 1:05. I know some of you were not able to eat their lunch yet, including myself. Bisa naka-report ka mo kay basi malaalang ka. So next Saturday, ma-meet tong Taguro-anay because we have 2 Saturdays na wala ka naka-meet, no? We'll just keep later on kung daw dali na lang ta.